Both as Amazon sellers and quite frankly as human beings, we have a lot of ups and downs in our lives. So how do we, as entrepreneurs, kind of pull ourselves back and realize, yeah, we're a little crazy sometimes. It's okay to fail, and we can't control the universe. We can't get as big, and we can't get as much sales as we want. We can't make our business run itself. We can't get passive income, right? Like a lot of these things that we aspire to do. Last week, I interviewed Adam Heist. His channel is the #1 viewed channel after somebody visits my Amazon guide. There's something incredible that Adam's been able to do, and it's really build inspiring content for entrepreneurs. It's very Gary Vee style to it. And to set the mood for my video today, which is highly inspired by what he's been able to articulate, I'm going to play a clip from his video.
Mental Game Monday. It's really, really important to orient yourself, to recognize your past and current context. A quote I often visit, both when good things are happening and bad, is the following: remember when you wanted what you currently have.
And I'm really bad at that. Today I deleted Facebook, and I took a moment to go back in time to see where I had been, both professionally and personally. And I was really trying to internalize that thought that Adam had shared. I paid for college by debating for Weber State University. My small claim to fame, I beat Harvard's B team at a national tournament. I made all of my income growing up teaching chess lessons. And being a teacher is rather rewarding. I even made it into a newspaper after playing in the US Chess Open one year. Quote, "When I play basketball or work out, I don't sweat," said Stephen Pope, 17-year-old from Utah who entered the U.S. Chess Federation 105th U.S. Open. "But when I play chess, I sweat." And by the way, playing in a chess tournament of that nature, 6-hour games. It's just like the Queen's Gambit. Very, very long days. From there, I became a television reporter. In this photo, you can see I kind of feel like I'm on top of the world a little bit. Standing on top of a news van.
We interrupt your normal broadcasting to take you live out of Terraton, Jefferson County, where a tanker has exploded. This is all that is left after a huge tanker explosion. You see that scrap metal on the left there? It's supposed to look like that tanker on the right, but after 35,000 gallons of fuel have incinerated the place, there isn't much left.
Whoa! Oh my God! Well, you can feel the heat.
I got to interview celebrities like Don Wells.
You know, what is it? Who was it? George Carlin? You get stuff, and then you have to get a bigger house for your stuff, and then you take your stuff with you when you travel. I'm a stuff person.
Fonzie.
Air Force One is a pretty large airplane for Yellowstone Airport, and you won't believe who got a tour on it.
We flew in, and we got off the plane, and I got M&Ms from the president's plane.
David Archuleta.
You and I must make a pact. We must bring salvation back.
What's it like to be David Archuleta?
I always felt like I was trying to keep up with life. And so it was like, okay, here it is. And then all of a sudden it was like, phew. I'm like, wait for me.
I got to do very unique things, like hold a bear cub. Check out that cute tongue there. One day I'd be flying in a hot air balloon.
There's a lot more to flying a hot air balloon than just pushing a valve.
And then the next, a stunt airplane.
Now, I've flown in airplanes before, but I haven't flown in something quite like this.
A lot of G's.
What he can do with an airplane defies physics. And Greg Poe is nuts. He's absolutely certifiably insane.
How you doing?
I'm handling it okay.
Look out to the side. Look out to the wingtip. There you go.
Yeah, I'm definitely blacking out a little bit there.
One time I did a news story on a cat, just a regular house cat that attacked its family. And it made the National Enquirer. That was a really weird story, by the way. The first time I covered Air Force One was actually George Bush. I even saw Joe Biden at the Yellowstone National Park.
Vice President Joe Biden walked to the stage holding hands with his granddaughter, which symbolizes Biden's speech as a whole, preserving national parks for future generations.
And my granddaughter Naomi and I, we're heading out. We're spending the rest of the day in the park.
2020 is going to be remembered for COVID-19 and the elections, but that's not what you need to dwell on. I want to inspire you that no matter what happens, no matter what you're going through, you can get through this. After I left being a reporter in Idaho, I went up to Wisconsin and only lasted maybe 4 or 5 weeks. It was right in the middle of the Scott Walker recall protests at the Capitol. A couple 100,000 people were sleeping at the Capitol. By the way, that did not smell good. They were not showering for a couple weeks at a time, sleeping at the Capitol, literally. And actually got fired from that job. And I got fired because I couldn't be a reporter effectively.
Get ready on some empty streets. We can barely see you out there.
It is miserably cold out here, that is for sure.
Right? Like, as much of my communication skills have grown and as good as I was as a TV reporter, I was insufficient. And I went back to school. I picked up an MBA and I looked for a way to move forward. And I did find a way to move forward, and I took an in-between job. And I eventually made that in-between job give me my break. And I got a break into marketing. And then after that, I thought, oh man, this is exactly what I've always wanted. I finally have what Adam Heist was talking about, right? Like, I remember that I valued what I had at that time. And then I worked for 4 failed startups in a row, guys. 4 failed startups in a row. 3 of those jobs, I was hired and my boss left in the first 4 to 8 weeks. Now, the blessings that I was able to incorporate from being able to step into the shoes of way more qualified individuals than I was at the time, and to do jobs that trained me to do things. I mean, like, in my second marketing job, I was operating a profit and loss statement. I barely knew what that even meant at the time. And I got through it. And so can you. You can get through whatever you're going through right now. I'm telling you that if you just try and you go and you do everything that you possibly can, you give as much energy as you possibly can, and even if you're just getting by, and there's a lot of that going around this year in 2020, a lot of that. I failed so many times, countless times. But one of the interesting personality traits that I feel like I have mastered is to take failure and invigorate myself and press forward. And I'm telling you, the failure that I experienced made me who I am today. But not because I think like the big man upstairs, I am speaking of God, wanted me to suffer. I contest that. I do not believe God wants anybody to suffer. I do think God allows everybody to suffer. I think He allows it. Because if He prevented suffering, there would be no free agency. We would all cease to be, and the purpose of life would be meaningless. Reflecting back, we heard Don Wills talk about George Carlin's stuff mantra, right? Like, the meaning of life is stuff. And we heard David Archuleta talk about how life just went by so quickly. There are countless moments as I reflect backwards in these clips, in these videos, and where I've been as an individual. And I'm sitting here in awe. And I haven't, this is 11 years of my life flashing back and right before my eyes. And I feel, no more successful today than I was at any point in time in my life or my career, in terms of like, hey, I want more. I still want more. I may never change. And that's probably the entrepreneur conundrum, right? Like, we all want more. Even though now, today, financially speaking, family speaking, career-wise, like anything you could name, my life is better today than it's ever been before, right? Like I've got 3 kids under 5. They're all healthy, happy, and growing kids. I even have a 4th kid on the way. I'm super excited about that. And I have 30 employees at my company. Our agency, my Amazon guy, has taken off, right? Like is just grown really, really well. And I'm telling you, as an entrepreneur, I still can get stuck in the fact that why don't I have more? Why isn't it bigger? Why don't I have more success? So no matter how successful you get, finding contentment is a critical component. And I hope that, you know, this video inspired you as an entrepreneur. I don't know how well liked this video will be, but to be honest, this video was very meaningful to me specifically, because not only did I have a chance to go back and reflect, and by the way, the reason I deleted Facebook today was because I wanted to get away from the vitriol. I wanted to focus on what was important to me and my family and my business. And I think a lot of us have lost sight of that. And I know that perhaps I have. And I guess I'll end with this. No matter what you're going through, I want you to know that you can get through it. There are people that love you. There are people around you that are rooting for you. I am rooting for you. I hope that your Amazon account, your business, your Amazon business takes off. Maybe you don't have an Amazon business today. Maybe it's just a vision. Maybe your Amazon business is $1 million annually right now and you want to hit 10 next year. Whatever it might be. I hope, and I believe in you, but I hope that you can find satisfaction on that journey, and I hope that you can build upon it and move forward with excellence, knowing that Amazon is going to make your job, your life harder. It's getting harder to sell on Amazon. It's never been a better time to sell on Amazon, but it's getting harder. The sophistication is going up, but you have earned the right to take a few hits on the chin, as they might say, and roll with the punches and move forward and get that thing done. You can do it. Go take action today, no matter what it might be. Even if all you do right now is just write down your plan. Just write it out. If that's all you do, you are doing yourself a service. And speaking of service, whenever I get a negative feeling or I don't feel good about where I am today, the number one thing that gets me out of that funk is to go serve somebody. Now, serving can be done in your family, serving can be done in your community, could be done in your business, your employees, whatever it might be. So if you're having a rough day, I hope this video helped you, a couple of laughs in there maybe, a couple of inspiring thoughts, hopefully. Go out there and get it done, though. Just go get it done. Start. Do something. Plan. Action. Go, go, go. Thanks so much, guys, for listening to me on this video. If you like this content, you want to see more inspirational content, please add a comment to this video. Tell me that you like what you heard today, and I'll do more of it. My name is Stephen Pope, and I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy.